Before she became the billionaire, the icon, the global queen of confidence, she was just a little girl named Robin Rihanna Fenty, born on February 20th, 1988, in the small Caribbean island of Barbados. Her home wasn't a mansion overlooking the sea. It was a small bungalow in Bridgetown, painted in fading colors, filled with the sound of laughter and sometimes the sound of pain. Her mother, Monica, worked hard, selling clothes, taking extra shifts, doing everything she could to feed her children. Her father, Ronald Fenty, had a big heart, but also a dark side. He struggled with addiction, crack cocaine, alcohol, and those demons turned their home into chaos. Rihanna once said quietly in an interview, "I used to cover my little brother's ears so he wouldn't hear my parents fighting. Imagine being 8 years old, hearing glass break at night, and praying that tomorrow will be peaceful." That was Rihanna's childhood, a place filled with love and pain, both trying to exist in the same room. But there was one thing that made her feel safe: music. She used to sing along to reggae and pop songs while doing chores. She'd mimic Mariah Carey and Madonna in front of the mirror, pretending the brush in her hand was a microphone. Music was her escape, her way to dream beyond the noise. School wasn't easy either. She was shy, quiet, often teased for her light skin tone and green eyes. But inside, she was fierce, observant, creative, with a deep hunger to prove herself. Rihanna didn't know how, but she knew she was meant for more. At age 11, her parents finally divorced. The house grew quieter, but the scars stayed. She became the emotional anchor for her siblings, the one who made jokes to hide pain, the one who pretended everything was fine. But pain, when carried long enough, can become power. And that's exactly what happened. When Rihanna was 15, her world started to change. She met two classmates who shared her love for music, and together they formed a tiny girl group. They didn't have fancy equipment, just a karaoke machine and dreams. They'd sing Destiny's Child covers in the living room, hoping that one day, someone, anyone, would hear them. And one day, someone did. A local producer named Evan Rogers, visiting Barbados with his wife, heard about a talented island girl with a voice beyond her years. He agreed to listen to her sing just a small audition at a friend's house. When Rihanna walked in, shy but glowing, he remembers saying, "The moment she opened her mouth, it was pure magic." She sang Hero by Mariah Carey. And for the first time, her pain sounded beautiful. Evan couldn't believe what he heard. He invited her to New York to record a few demo songs. But for Rihanna, this wasn't just a trip. It was her ticket out. Her mother cried when she left the island. They both knew if she didn't take this chance, she might never get another one. When the plane lifted off, Rihanna looked out the window, watching her small world disappear beneath the clouds. She whispered, "One day, they'll all know my name." What makes her story powerful isn't luck. It's courage. A young girl who faced addiction, chaos, and heartbreak, but still dared to believe she was meant for something greater. Every note she sang carried the weight of her childhood. The noise, the silence, the broken pieces, and somehow turned it into melody. In her own words, "If I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be who I am today." And maybe that's the truth behind every icon. They're not born from comfort, they're forged in pain. Because before she became Rihanna, the woman who conquered music, fashion, and fame, she was just a little island girl, singing her way out of the dark. When Rihanna stepped off the plane in New York, the air felt heavier, colder, but filled with promise. For the first time, she was thousands of miles away from Barbados. No ocean breeze, no familiar voices. Just skyscrapers, car horns, and the whisper of "this is where dreams begin." She was 16. No fame, no money, just a voice and a belief that she could change her life. Evan Rogers, the producer who discovered her, became like a second father. He and his wife took her into their home in Connecticut, helping her record demo songs between school hours. It wasn't glamorous, just long nights, cheap microphones, and endless takes, until the emotion felt real. They recorded 3 demo tracks. One of them was Panda Replay, a song that captured her island roots but had global rhythm. The kind of track that makes people move without knowing why. Evan started sending the demos to record labels. Most didn't respond. Some said she was too Caribbean, others said too young. Rejection after rejection came in, but Rihanna didn't give up. Every no made her sharper. She studied the industry, practiced her performances in front of the mirror, and dreamed about the day she'd walk into a real studio. And then, fate moved. Def Jam Records, one of the biggest labels in the world, called Evan and said, "Jay-Z wants to see her." Jay-Z, the rap legend who had just become the president of Def Jam, wasn't easily impressed. Artists came in every day, all hoping to be the one. But that day, when Rihanna walked into his office, something changed. She wore a simple jeans and tank top, her hair pulled back, no heavy makeup, just confidence. Jay-Z later said, when she walked in, it was like the room shifted. She performed Panda Replay right there in the office. No stage, no mic. Just her voice, her rhythm, and her island fire. By the time she finished, the room was silent. Then Jay-Z said the words that would rewrite her destiny. Don't let her leave the building. They literally locked the doors until the deal was signed. That night, Rihanna became a Def Jam artist. Her life forever changed. The next few months were a blur. Photo shoots, vocal lessons, studio sessions with top producers. She was no longer Robin Fenty from Barbados. She was becoming Rihanna, the name the world would soon know. Her debut single, Panda Replay, dropped in 2005, and the world couldn't stop dancing. The song climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Her accent, her style, her smile. Everything felt new, different, unstoppable. Barbados was watching. The girl who once sang to escape pain was now singing to the entire world. But fame, as she would soon learn, is not peace. Behind the lights came pressure, interviews, comparisons, criticism. She was still just a teenager, trying to understand who she was, while the world tried to define her. Her second album came fast, A Girl Like Me. This time, she showed more of herself. Songs like Unfaithful revealed her emotional depth. A girl who'd known heartbreak far before fame. Rihanna wasn't trying to be a perfect pop star. She was trying to be real. And that realness made people love her even more. By 2007, she was ready to reinvent herself completely. Gone was the shy island girl. In her place stood a confident, fierce woman with short black hair and a sound that would dominate the next decade. Her third album, Good Girl Gone Bad, was a turning point. It wasn't just music, it was a statement. She was done pleasing the world. Now she was creating her own. And at the center of it all was one song, Umbrella. When that track hit, everything exploded. Awards, world tours, brand deals. Rihanna had become a global phenomenon. But behind the strength, there was still the girl from Barbados, the one who knew what pain felt like, and used it to build her empire. From a small island house filled with chaos to the biggest stages in the world, Rihanna's story is not about luck. It's about courage, resilience, and fire. Never a failure, always a lesson. Tattooed on her chest, a reminder of the storms she survived, because she didn't just break free from Barbados. She broke free from everything that was meant to hold her down. Fame looked beautiful from the outside. The lights, the awards, the world tours. But behind closed doors, Rihanna was fighting battles no one saw. At the height of her success, the world thought she had everything. Yet, she was still that same girl who had seen too much pain too early. And now it was returning in another form. In 2009, the world woke up to headlines that broke millions of hearts. Photos of Rihanna's bruised face covered every newspaper. The world froze. Her boyfriend at the time, singer Chris Brown, had assaulted her. That moment was more than a scandal. It was a wound that the world watched her survive. But here's the thing about Rihanna. She never wanted pity. She wanted power. While tabloids hunted for gossip, she disappeared quietly, healing, rebuilding, finding herself again. Months later, she returned, not as a victim, but as a warrior. Her 2009 album, Rated R, was dark, raw, and fearless. You could feel the pain in every lyric, but also the strength. She wasn't singing for hits anymore. She was singing for survival. I felt like I had to start over. But this time, I was going to do it on my own terms. And she did. In the next few years, she redefined what it meant to be a global icon. She experimented with sounds from pop to reggae to EDM. And every time, she topped the charts again. Songs like Only Girl in the World, We Found Love, Diamonds weren't just music, they were emotional rebirths. Behind the hits was a woman learning how to love herself again. And that self-love became her superpower. Songs like Only Girl in the World, by 2012, Rihanna wasn't just an artist anymore. She was a brand, a symbol, a movement. But fame alone wasn't enough for her. She wanted impact. She wanted to build something that outlived her music. So she turned her pain into purpose. She launched Clara Lionel Foundation, named after her grandparents, to fund education and emergency relief for underprivileged children worldwide. She didn't announce it for attention. She simply acted quietly, effectively. And then came 2017, the year everything changed again. Rihanna launched Fenty Beauty, a makeup brand that revolutionized the beauty industry. Why? Because she was tired of seeing women with darker skin tones left out. Beauty should be for everyone, she said. And with that one statement, she rewrote history. Fenty Beauty wasn't just a business. It was a message of inclusion, confidence, and identity. It became a billion-dollar empire. And Rihanna became the youngest self-made female billionaire in America. From singing barefoot in Barbados to building global empires, Rihanna's story became a lesson in evolution. She didn't stop at beauty. She launched Savage x Fenty, a lingerie brand that celebrated every body type. Real women, real confidence. It wasn't about perfection, it was about power. While the world kept asking, when is Rihanna dropping a new album? She was out there building an empire, helping people, creating jobs, redefining success on her own terms. And yes, she's still the girl who loves her island. Every year, she returns to Barbados, to the same streets, the same ocean breeze, to remind herself where it all began. She once said in an interview, "I'll never forget that little girl from Barbados. She's the reason I'm here." That little girl who hid from her father's addiction, who used music as a way to escape, who dreamed of a bigger life, became one of the most powerful women on earth. Rihanna is more than a singer. She's a survivor, a creator, a symbol of strength for every woman who's ever been told she's not enough. Because here's the truth. Success doesn't erase pain. It transforms it. And Rihanna transformed hers into art, into action, into legacy. She became a mother, a billionaire, a fashion icon, and still that same fearless island girl who dares to dream louder than her fears. When the world says you can't, remember you already did. Rihanna's life teaches us that your scars don't define you. Your strength does. She didn't just rise, she soared. And every woman watching her story knows now, you can too. If you had to start from nothing like Rihanna, what would you build?
To be continued.